Today we are, I guess, each going to paint the image that you spoke about in the previous podcast, the one that Becky took of some sunset clouds near the Tetons when we were in Idaho. And we both have the image, and I'll include that right now. Saw the reference image that we're using, and so I have blah 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 paint, and Bonnie has blah 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 paint, and we're just going to get into it, right?
Yeah.
So I see that you have some things already down there. What did you do?
Okay, so I mixed a little bit of ultramarine blue with light cad yellow to get a green. It takes me so long to mix greens right now since I'm so new to it that I had to get a little bit of a head start with you, if that makes sense. Just to keep from trying to mix a green the entire hour, I got my green done this morning or last night. I can't remember. Yeah.
Wow, my easel setup is even shakier today. How is that even possible? Ooh. My base is actually broken, Bonnie. I just noticed that right now. It's cracked. Uh-oh. Well, if the entire thing falls down in the middle of it, you'll know what happened.
Okay, you'll know what happened. So now I want to put in my next region of my little mountain region and get that blocked in. But
so
I used a pencil with that so far.
Mountains in the distance it's easier to just get them to be like a cool or warm gray tone, and to just make like a block of color and a mass, and then begin to pick out some of the shapes of the clouds or the sky around the mountain forms, and then take and put little bits of color in to denote where the light hits certain planes of the mountains in the distance. So what I'm doing right now is I am just making shapes for
I am too.
my clouds.
Oh, you're making your cloud shapes right now? What did you use on your cloud shapes?
Well, I started off with pink, and I mixed a neutral warm gray that I'm using now. And I'm using one of my garbage scrub brushes to put it down, and I want to get a lot of it's a really firm kind of blown out brush that should have been thrown away months ago, but I use this so that I get like a scratchy paint effect, and what it does is it allows the pink underpainting to show through. Even when I scrub in heavy, it still doesn't have 100% coverage over the surface if I'm just using paint, like with no medium, no water, because I am using like the water-based oil paints here. Okay.
I made a nice little gray, I think. It's almost a purple browny thing. I took that green and added a little more of cad red light and some blue. What do you think? How am I doing there? Right? I already got a little...
Well, it's hard to tell when you're blocking in. It's easier to look at everything once all the color is actually on top of your surface and you have all the notes that you need, because you're comparing your...
I can't see anything you're doing, by the way.
Your values.
Because of my light.
Yeah.
Just because of my light. Like my light.
It's really overcast and cloudy where I am today. I'm on a river in Montana above Yellowstone, and rained this morning, and now it is very cloudy, and I think it might rain again, actually. So I'm doing the best I can with the lighting situation. I do have lights above me here, but it still looks a little dark compared to what you have. If people can't see, it's because we're super unprofesh.
Sure.
And they're just going to have to deal with it for now.
I'm going to try to get some of these clouds in somehow, a little. I don't know what I'm doing.
What kind of brush are you using?
I'm using a flat. What do you want me to use? A round?
I don't give a shit what you use.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna make fun of you if you're using something that's way too small.
I'm using a very small brush.
Well, yeah, I'd say use the largest brush you can for the scale of shape that you want to put in.
Okay.
Sort of thing. So now I'm going to, oh man, I think I have to hold my whole setup because my box is broken.
Oh no.
Crap.
Yeah, I don't know if we can continue like that, babe. I hate to tell you that. That's not ideal conditions even for.
I am going to make it.
Okay.
Okay, so now
I am going to.
I have a larger brush, and I am trying to put in some lighter blue background, and I'm going to go thick with it afterwards.
Yeah, I'm brushing in just a lighter blue background right now.
And as a side note, when I add the color over something like a really intense pink or orange, I always want to keep the underpainting showing through, and I'm careful not to go too close to the edge of the next shape.
Oh, well.
Because there's some really interesting things that can happen texturally when you leave the underpainting along certain forms to kind of delineate them. And you can take the back end of your brush and actually even pull the paint down more into it. I suddenly don't have enough blue here. I think I'm going to have to add more. Whoa there.
Well, I have no idea where I'm going with this, but I'm still scrubbing in and not too worried about it because after all, this is just a piece of garbage wood that you gave me.
Nothing I've ever given you has been garbage.
You're
Take
like
that
the king
back.
of garbage. You're the
Take
king.
Take that back.
Cheapest man I've ever met.
What?
I swear. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Me?
When it comes to art supplies, oh my God. So cheap.
Well.
You'll take anything. If you could take cardboard and cut it down and use it as a canvas, you would. I know you would. I would too.
I'm not sure if. Yeah, I guess you're right. I really can't deny that.
Totally would. You are so cheap.
The quality of surfaces I used, especially early when I was beginning, was pretty crazy. Like, I took apart old furniture and fixtures in the motorhome, and it had like this cheap 1/8-inch ply that was used to back some of the pieces of built-in furniture and pieces of wall. I pulled it out, I cut that shit up, and I painted on it, and I sold it.
I know you would. You did it all the time. As a matter of fact, when you moved,
I loved
you couldn't.
it.
Yeah, you did. You couldn't even you were like, I just need to leave all this garbage wood with you. And I was like, yes, leave your garbage wood with me, because I'm going to do something with your garbage wood, because I'm just as much of a scrounger.
The really cool thing about painting on pieces of wood is that if you get tired of it, you can use it to burn things. You can make a little campfire, and it's really easy to scrape it down.
Oh, yeah.
If you need to do that too.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yes, I'm not sure if I like canvas or linen. I've been trying to get more into it lately because I figure after 9 years, I don't think I should have material hangups. I don't think I should have these funny things where I won't paint on canvas. I'm not a canvas guy.
Oh, I'll paint on whatever
silly
anyone
limitations
gives to me. Yeah, I'll paint on anything that anybody wants to give to me.
Yeah, well, I've been doing some pieces on linen lately, and they've been turning out, but I will say that it takes me longer.
On linen?
Yeah, because I get so disturbed by the bounce and how it gives. There's like give to it, and I almost feel like I'm gonna poke through with the palette knife. And I don't know. I just have textural issues.
I don't know what I'm doing right now, but what? Who cares, right?
I am attempting to mix.
I am really just doing this. I could care less, people. I'm just putting whatever I can on this canvas. Wood.
Okay, so I think that what I'm seeing in the reference photo,
yes,
the pink of the clouds.
I love the pink of the clouds.
Is different. I think it's different from the pink I used as my underpainting, but I'm not sure because I don't think I see it right. So I decided that I'm going to use Cad Red Deep.
I'm using Cad Red Light.
I know that the red from the Cad Red Deep, when I mix it with titanium, when I put it over a pink that I mix with like a quinacridone magenta, it will read to people who see red and orange and pink properly, like Becky does. It'll read like that kind of warm orange glow, I guess. To me, it just kind of looks like a softer, more gray pink. But I think that there's...
I had to erase some stuff.
I think there's a play in intensity that I don't see. So I am winging this.
I'm winging it too.
And now I'm adding some of it to the chromatic gray I mixed for the cloud to put in a little color there. And I like to switch up.
I want to work on my blue. I really want a really cool kind of I do need to get these other clouds in there. There's a whole area of clouds that I really need to get up here.
A cerulean or cobalt will play cooler, and I think the ultramarine with just a little bit of an ochre will get you the kind of blue you're looking for the mountains.
Okay.
How large is the piece you're working on, Bonnie?
Oh, it's like 3 inches by 5 inches, maybe. It's super small. Because I just figured I could get this done a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, though. Honestly, I can't see anything you're doing right now.
I don't know what I'm. I don't know what I'm ever doing. Like,
can you see what I'm doing? What do you think so far? How am I doing on this?
Okay, I'm
a better
looking now.
than this, people. I just want you to know.
But the nature of painting and speaking and trying to figure out what the other person is doing is
a lot.
It's a perfect storm of crap. And you can't expect too much out of this. I mean, I don't really expect too much
anything out
of myself on a daily basis. So if we just keep this nice and
simple.
light.
Yeah, let's keep this chill. I mixed ultramarine with the yellow ochre. I did not like the results, but it could have been because my water was just way too wet. You know? My brush was too wet. I mean.
Yeah, you're working a little messy on your palette.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Just as a side note, and I mean, I don't know if I should be telling anyone.
No, I don't know if you should either.
How to be neater. But to me, it looks like you have a lot of paint on there for acrylic.
Yeah.
Are you keeping it wet, or you just have a lot of paint so you can dig through the skin that forms on the acrylic and get to wet paint again?
No, I have.
What the hell's your deal, Bonnie?
I have.
Well, that up.
Okay, here's what happened. Is that the blue I want? No, I want a little bit of yellow in that. What happened was I didn't want to bring all my paints home from the market, so I just squeezed a bunch of colors on here, and there were some leftover colors, and there were also dried up colors. I mean, there's just all sorts of shit going on this palette, and I just went with it because I didn't want to drag everything home. It's called, I don't know, being lazy, a little lazy. You know?
Okay.
A little lazy.
Well,
did I get it? I'm still trying to get the color I want. I think I got. I'm gonna try it. I'm just gonna try this color. Yeah, I like that.
So I've gotten too thick too quick.
Oh yeah?
Yes. So I'm attempting to maybe bring down some of where the pink I just applied and the gray meet. I think that's... So I'm taking a clean brush, like a smaller one, and I'm scraping the side. Okay. Let's try this again, Chris.
Do it again, Chris.
You got this, bro. You got this.
Bro. You are the man.
Those brewskis ain't gonna finish themselves, bro.
No, man, they're not.
Yeah.
Bonnie, why don't you marry a man more like me? That's what my brother said to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, who would want to marry their brother?
Yeah, that's
very.
It's a slightly questionable comment, but sometimes with family, you just got to let those comments slide off your back, you know?
Man, I know. I was like, yeah, I know. I believe it. I say that to myself every day, bro.
Oh. Okay.
Put some more blue down in here because I like this blue.
So I keep squinting and taking a look at it, and then taking a look at the reference, and I'm seeing a lot more nuance where the pink cloud touches the gray of the background.
I'm having a hard. I'm trying to mix that gray pink color that goes like right in here. This lower layer. Do you see where my brush is going? And it's just getting weirder and weirder.
Sometimes you have to stop and take a moment and then possibly scrape some of that out too. It's a little bit more difficult to remove it with acrylic rather than oil, but if you work on another part and wait until that section has dried, you can just go right over it most times. Okay, so is it lighter spot that I'm attempting to put in here?
I want more purple. I want more of a purple. Isn't that like a purple in there? Don't you think? Like there's.
Okay, because I use a limited palette and because I'm pretty sure that I do not see all the colors that everyone else sees. I need to be careful what I put next to other colors. I need to sort of make sure that I don't mix too many pigments together. And
I'm sticking very small.
I try to keep as clean as possible, and it's worked for me so far.
And I need a nice gray for the mountains, though. I'm trying to get this mountain gray, and that's what I want. I want a nice gray for the mountains.
It's gonna be mostly, I think, like an ultramarine, a little bit of your cad, and then add white, like titanium white to that.
Okay, that's what I did. Let's see. Ooh, thank you. This is looking nice. I think I've got a color that I actually feel good about. Okay. I'm going to try to like block some of this in. I know I'm going to have to go. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I'm trying to get some of the directionality to these kind of lumps of clouds.
Me too, but I'm almost about to give up on that. You know?
When working from photos, sometimes you have to just really make shit up.
Oh, I'm making shit up right about now. I've been making shit up though. I'm like,
Because
always making shit up.
To me, one of the funnest aspects of painting is trying to figure out how to break a few different rules every time. And your attempt to do so sometimes enables some happy accidents. So just, whatever kind of videos you watched before in whatever the hell you watch on the internet, just imagine doing the opposite of what those people are doing.
Just do the opposite of what they tell you to do. Don't do anything that I'm doing. If you really want to be successful and happy in life, don't follow anything I do.
Okay. I am going to need more white. And I'm going to try to mix up a lot of color for the top blue because I left the mountains to be in the lower third of this square, and I want the sky portion, which is the upper third, to be of the most interest. And then I think I'm going to go back over and create little bits of texture to try to show where some of those pink clouds are. This is not an easy, straightforward painting because you have a very dark foreground of grass, which I did not make quite as dark. And then you have the tricky color of mountains against a really intense pink cloud. And then there's like this gray amorphous line through the center. And then you have this like really bright pop of blue. So, well,
I'm just kind of scrubbing this painting together and hoping that some of these marks start to tell me like where I'm going with this.
You might want to do like the Magic 8-Ball thing.
I don't know what that means.
You never played with one of those back in the late 80s, early 90s? Those Magic 8-Balls where you'd ask it a question and it would say, most likely.
So you want me to do that? No. You think I should do the Magic 8-Ball thing?
Well, if you can't be decisive, then...
I'm decisive. I'm just doing my own thing. And...
Okay, so that...
I'm an impressionist, Chris. I don't know if you know this. Look at this impressionism going on here. This is good. This is better than I've done before in all of this nonsense.
Well, I'm definitely getting an impression from you, so...
Yeah, right? Getting my impressions.
Okay, so that's a little green right here. And I need to get... Man.
Oh, I love it. Look at me go, Chris. Look, almost got a hole. No, it's not great. No, they're not going to be going to the Louvre to look at it. But you know what? I'm getting this painting done. Aren't I?
What do people really go to the Louvre to look at? I mean, there's...
I don't know. I'd like to go, though.
They stand in like 5-hour lines to see the Da Vinci Mona Lisa piece, right? And then the rest of their time, they're just like going to the gift shop and screwing around. So
gift shop.
I don't really care if a piece of mine is in the Louvre eventually anyway, because no one's going to look at it. They're just going for the Mona Lisa.
Oh, I go and look. I like to go. I mean, I haven't been to the Louvre, but I wouldn't mind getting in there and looking at textiles and all sorts of stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to spend time, so I want to go back several times so that I can really take it all in. I don't think you can just sit and go to a museum in one day. I really don't feel that way. I've been to a lot of museums that you can't get through them in one day. They really are a treasure.
I pretty much never got out of a few different exhibits at the Met every time I went throughout college, because, you know, I went to school in Connecticut, so everyone just kind of piled onto a bus, I think a few times, and got dropped off at the Met. And yeah, I where was I? I think I just looked at some sculpture, and then I was looking at some Polynesian and African, like Egyptian art, and everyone else was nowhere to be found. I was the only person in some of these exhibits. I found them fascinating.
Oh, yeah. Where did I go this past summer? I'm trying to remember. In July, I think I went to Mexico last July, and I went to the Archaeological Museum in Chapultepec Park. That's an amazing place to go. If you ever go to Mexico City, Chapultepec Park is unbelievable. There's so many things there. Just, it's a big, beautiful green space. It's almost like Central Park, but in Mexico. It's the Central Park of Mexico City, you know? Yeah. And
I would like to go to Mexico, especially Mexico City.
You would?
Yeah. Isn't it the
incredible.
largest metropolitan area in all of the Americas? It's absolutely huge.
I have no idea, but I can tell you this. It is wonderful, and it is vast, and I love the Mexican people. They're so amazing. They're kind, they're intelligent, beautiful people. I always go back for more Mexico. Always, 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 always. It's amazing colors, amazing style, food. I like all the street food too.
Yeah.
I get all excited about that street food. And I like the Mexican wrestling arena. I've been to the Lucha Libre shows. They're incredible. Fun. So much fun.
That is something I'd also be really interested in too.
Oh, it is. It's something to be interested in for sure. It is such a blast.
It must be interesting hailing from a place like that, because where I grew up, just outside of Hartford in Connecticut, most people who aren't from there don't remember it. You know? It's just like, oh yeah, I stopped there for gas, or it's kind of like a pass-through area along I-84.
Oh, and you feel like there's nothing really exciting about it for you?
No. And I've only really been able to connect with people who ask me where I'm from maybe twice, because they happen to be from a neighboring town, and they said, oh, I know where Manchester is. And they always mention the same thing, which is the Buckland Hills Mall.
Oh, God. Really? They mention a mall? Like, your hometown is classified by a fucking mall? That's so sad.
It's classified by a mall, yeah.
Oh, shit, man. That's lame. That's fucking lame. Well, you know what? I'm originally from Tampa, and we're not classified for much better, to tell you the truth. When you think of Tampa, what do you think of?
I think of the stadium where the Bucks play, right?
The Bucks.
And then I think of maybe a little bit of a pier restaurant area by St. Pete's, right?
Oh, I love that. Yeah. That is the best.
And then I think of that major highway that runs through it, and
I-10.
And how I always see accidents.
Which runs through here. Oh, yeah. I know exactly which accident area you're talking about, too. I jackknifed my truck on that damn thing. I know where the I-4 and I-10 meet in Tampa.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's right.
Take this roundabout. Yeah, you're going to Clearwater, St. Pete. I've jackknifed only once, and I didn't. I didn't crash. I was pulling a trailer behind my truck too. I know. I used to jackknife that truck all the time. My mother was so glad when I got rid of it.
I had a hand-me-down Ford Ranger that I used to bring around everywhere, and in the winter I had to put weight in the back of it, so I had to throw a bunch of sandbags, and I only jackknifed it once, and it is not a cool story. It was when I tried to pull into the driveway of my apartment, and that was it. It was never a cool highway story. Yeah, no, I just took the turn a little bit too fast in a kind of a snowstorm, and yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, I jackknifed my truck in a snowstorm too in Kentucky. A storm just came out of nowhere and took me by surprise. In the middle of the night, I was coming home, and it just flipped me around, man.
Yep. I like
it. I like where I'm going with this. It may take me a while to get where I need to be, but I definitely like where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Mine has turned out okay, actually.
I want to see yours, but I'm not going to look at it until you
I was expecting a lot worse.
My mountains need help, though, more than my sky. My sky needs help, too, but my mountains really.
Okay, so I have everything blocked in. I have some of my textures and play of shapes. I have areas that I've left the underpainting to come through. I've scraped some on my horizon of between the grass and the distant mountains. And now I'm thinking of where to put some of my brightest brights. And I'm thinking it's going to be a really light kind of grayish orange right about here. And it's going to be a pretty intense pink pop right on the side of that peak there. And I think I'm going to mix those colors now.
Oh my God, look at where you're at with this crazy thing.
Are you able to even see? It looks kind of crappy to...
Yeah, if I could see what you're doing, I might have a better painting here, but I really can't see what you're doing.
Maybe that's some of the fun of doing this PaintCast thing.
It is some of the fun. I don't care.
Where you just sort of have to figure out how to talk and work at the same time and look at the image. And it's a mixture of stream of consciousness and any particular psychological condition or drug-induced condition that you're currently in.
I'm not in any psychological or drug-induced condition. Not yet.
Oh. I really never am, but I wouldn't really know because I'm always on caffeine. I'm always drinking coffee.
That is the worst. I just got an audiobook on that, just so you know.
An audiobook about people drinking coffee?
There's a book that came out about coffee, the effects of caffeine on your body.
Well, if you drink a lot of coffee, yes. I drink a lot of espresso. So it's a lower caffeine, more intense. Oh, yeah. It's a more intense flavor. And I usually nurse my coffee for about 4 or 5 hours. I get an iced espresso.
Oh, I know what you get. You get 4 shots of espresso, tall with water over ice. We've gotten coffee together so many times. How many times? Hundreds of 1,000. We've gotten coffee together 1,000.
I have lost count, Bonnie.
I know. We could never count the amount of coffees we've had together. So funny.
And then I switched to water. You know.
Yeah, because it's good for you.
Yeah.
I still haven't. Oh, I made this wonderful, beautiful cup of instant coffee, and I'm so just hell bent on working on this painting that I haven't even had a sip of it yet.
It's instant coffee?
Uh-huh. You know I love instant coffee. It's community coffee, instant coffee.
I think Becky got some of the Starbucks Via stuff for camping. Mm-hmm. I haven't tried it yet.
That's not going to work either. Still having a problem with my mountains.
Whenever I have an issue with anything, I tend to switch tools if I can. And then I'll work on a different part.
Really good job. I bet my palette knife would do some really good mountaining.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of
palette knives can really help if you are overbrushing your surface. And I think I tend to nervously overbrush sometimes because my focus is so often on getting dimensionality, not only through mark, but also thickness of paint. So sometimes I tend to gray out, and then I need to kind of step back and switch tools and go to the palette knife because I am able to put on a shape of more intense color, and it doesn't mix as easy. When you are brushing, you have all those bristles that are pushing through, because when you're doing wet on wet, you can push through to below where you have previous layers of paint, and it just kind of naturally mixes. And sometimes I want to stop that. And I know the best way to stop it is to let your painting dry and then work on it later, but I don't do that. So
I might have to do that today. Look at what I'm doing to this thing, pulverizing it. I may have to take a break.
It might be getting a little overworked if you feel that way.
Yeah, I'm removing right now. I'm doing some removing, some scrub removing, and I'm going to see what I want to do in a little while. Some of it I'm leaving in, but... And then I'll come, I'm going to come back in with a palette knife. Oh, that's kind of cool. Look, I did an add and subtraction. And I think I might put in some key, really thick strokes, but I want to let this dry and think about it. What do you think? Take a look at what I've done with this.
I think when you say key strokes, I would choose 3 different areas. Either in a straight line or that make a natural triangle in your composition, and then keep those areas thick and just let the rest be whatever it is.
Okay.
Because sometimes you can add too much paint and then it becomes a little overwhelming, the surface. It's so thick that, at least to my eye, it's almost like I've suffocated some of the life from it. So I guess you're rinsing something.
Yes, I am. My coffee got cold, and I am about to make myself another instant coffee. I'm standing back from my painting. I'm really looking at it right now.
Okay, I think that we should take photos of what we had when we stopped, because this is about the 45-minute mark, and we'll post that, and that'll be it. And I think I'm just going to say this one is complete, and I'm going to sign it right now. So I'm going to use the back end of my brush, and there we go.
I'm going to learn to do that. I'm going to learn to sign my name in thick paint. What
Most
should
definitely.
my signature be, though? That's what I'm really concerned about, is what my signature should look like.
Okay. Well, your last name is Miller.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when people sign things, they will try to get a uniform shape. So it all fits within a rectangle. If you have a longer 6 or 7 letter last name, it kind of goes out the window if you have like a 10 or 11 letter last name. But a mid-range last name can be fit almost into a nice, almost like a stamp appearance. And I would say just try it out with a pencil and see what you like, and see if you can get away with blurring some of it so it's really easy. And also make sure that you do it large and as small as possible. And then you can see how it differs in scale.
I think I'm going to practice on wood. I'm going to put paint on the wood, on a piece of wood, and start just trying to practice getting my signature down.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I think this has been a pretty good PaintCast, and
me too.
I will post the photos along with the reference photo along with this video on YouTube. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep putting these conversations just as audio for a podcast, but I may go back. Well, I may go back retroactively if we get really good at it and be able to do 2 things at once.
No, this can go on YouTube, but this is a supplemental to the podcast. Like, this is right.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Okay. I think it's been a pleasure.
All right. Same here, buddy. Thank you.
Adios.
Adios.